Hey there, I'm Tucker, you're watching D&D Daily, and today we're going to be doing a character build, the Triple Threat Tortle. If you want to play the Triple Threat Tortle, the first thing you're going to need to be is a Tortle for your race, of course, and you're going to need to be a Storm Herald Barbarian. The Triple Threat Tortle grew up in a unique druid grove that came at the conflux of three very unique environments. One being a vast ocean, one a frozen tundra, and one a blistering hot desert. They converge in one point, which is this magical druid grove. The druids of this grove raised the Tortle Triple Threat as their champion to defend the grove in ways they couldn't. He didn't necessarily know the druid's magic, but he knew how to fight and he knew how to protect that place. Growing up, these three areas all had their unique storms that were almost constantly raging, and he learned how to harness the power of these storms through his emotions, being his Storm Herald storm auras. Recently there's been some weird activity with these storms, and they've been doing weird things like they've been being controlled unnaturally. So the druids send the Tortle Triple Threat out to go and figure out what's going on and to fix it. The personality of the Tortle Triple Threat is that he is a simple man. He's not really smart, he's not really charismatic, and he doesn't really care to be. He's just there doing his thing. He's also going to be very connected to nature. He grew up in a druid's grove, and he's going to show that in his personality, being connected to the things around him. When he rages, he's going to embody the personality of that type of storm. So when he does his desert storm aura, it's going to be something like a blistering hot rage that burns everything around him. Whereas with his tundra aura, he's going to be more icy cold and stoic. And with the sea aura, it's going to be that he is chaotic, ebbing and flowing in the ways that he needs to overcome the challenges that he faces. In combat, the Triple Threat is going to use a longsword and a shield, unlike most barbarians using a great axe. By using the longsword, we are going to lose out on a little bit of damage, roughly 2 points per attack, from changing from the D12 to the D8. However, we are going to be really tanky by picking up that shield. That shield gives us a +2 AC on top of what we already have from being a Tortle, which is 17, so we go up to a base 19 AC starting at level 1. This mixed with our rage, which gives us resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage, and having a very high constitution all at level 1 is going to make us really tanky at any level of the game. The Triple Threat is going to play like most barbarians. He's just going to run up and smack. The one difference is based on which of his storm auras he's going to be using. You get to change this out at each level, so I encourage you to pick and play around with these, figure out what you want to do, figure out different synergies, and experiment with this. If he has his desert aura, he's going to run up and be a solo melee fighter. He's going to try and draw in a bunch of enemies around him, but keep his allies away. This is going to synergize really well if you have a lot of backline characters like archers or mages. The Tundra aura is going to be something he stays close to his team to make them extra tanky. This is going to be something he uses if his team is full of a lot of melee fighters to help everyone have that temp HP. And the Sea aura is going to be something in the middle. It's not necessarily that you want to be close to all your teammates and you don't necessarily want to be far away from them. It's going to be something in the middle that's going to be a little more versatile and a little more flexible. Out of combat, the Triple Threat is strong, and he does all of the strong things. He's also going to be good at survival skills and the rest of the wisdom skills like perception and insight, way more so than other barbarians. In his downtime, he is going to be looking for the reason that those storms are changing or why they're being controlled. He's also going to try really hard to protect his home and do what he needs to make sure that area is a safe place. And he's going to try very hard to stay connected with nature. That would be something he would do just in his downtime, like before he sleeps or when he wakes up. While the rest of the party's preparing, he's going to be trying to connect to nature. He was raised by druids after all. The key mechanics for the Triple Threat is that strength and con are going to be your main two stats, and you don't really need much else. Most barbarians need dex pretty bad to keep their AC high. However, as a Tortle, we have a base AC of 17 with a shield, bringing us up to 19, so dex is really not a priority for us. We also fill in the gap of dex saving throws with our danger sense, which gives us advantage on those saving throws. Because we don't need dex very much, we have extra points if we're doing point buy to put wherever we want. I personally put them into wisdom because that's going to be a really good saving throw that barbarians typically are very weak at. For this character, when you get to levels that grant you ASIs or feats, so level 4, 8, 12, etc., this character is going to want to take ASIs like almost all barbarians. barbarians. Because his base stats of strength and con are so important, those are going to be first and foremost. The place you would take feats is once those are maxed and or you feel comfortable with them, or if you have an odd strength or constitution and you want to take a half feat. A half feat that I would take would be skill expert, taking athletics as your skill expertise. This is going to make you better at grappling so you can keep people close to you inside your aura, and because grappling is just really cool. If I had maxed out my strength and con and was going to take a full feat, the one I would look at is sentinel. For the same reason, you can keep people in your aura so you can keep them close and keep attacking them as much as you want. Another niche mechanic that we won't use very often but we can have in our back pocket is our shell defense feature. This tucks us inside our shell, making it so we can't really use objects and we can't really move. However, we get a +4 bonus to our AC, bringing us from 17 to 21, or if your DM allows you to still use a shield, taking you from 19 to 23. So you're going to be very tanky. However, it's probably not going to be used very much because it's very easy for enemies to just ignore you. So be smart when you use it, but it probably won't come up very often. The main weakness for the triple threat is long range combat, like all barbarians. He's not going to be great at long range combat because the best option he has is a javelin, which is not great. Almost all other barbarians, however, are really bad at wisdom saving throws and those wisdom based skills, but wisdom saving throws are the most debilitating of those weaknesses. However, this character does not have that as bad as other barbarians because we did put some points into wisdom. It is still a weakness to note as those wisdom saves can be really debilitating when you fail. However, it is something that we are better at than a normal barbarian. As an NPC, I would use the triple threat to guard his druid grove. If the party's trying to enter there, he might be there to keep them out. He might fight them or he might just try and push them away. The other way I would use him as an NPC is that he is in his quest of finding who is modifying and changing the weather patterns in his druid grove, and maybe the party is going after the same person for completely different reasons. They might team up and work together to take down this big bad. I think the key note to hit with this character is making the Storm Herald Barbarian a good or at least a better class. When we pair it with the Tortle race, we get an unnaturally high AC for a barbarian and it lets us focus on other things. This is going to be really good for giving that Storm Herald the necessary buff that it needs. The other note for this is I really like that there's a desert turtle like a tortoise, or there's a sea turtle that's a sea turtle, or you can come up with some sort of ice turtle for the tundra. I think that imagery is really cool. How would you use the triple threat in one of your games? What would you do to make him better or just more flavorful? Let us know in the comments below. This is D&D Daily. We release new videos every single day. If you liked this video, make sure to check out our other barbarian flavor builds here, and we'll see you tomorrow.